All right. Hey everyone, my name is Matt Getchell and I'm a project manager on the solar team with Energy Trust of Oregon. I'm here today to introduce our conversation on Solar Within Reach and a quick overview of Energy Trust and our solar program before handing it off to Jacob and Joe to go a little bit deeper on a great project with Habitat for Humanity and Sunlight Solar. So for the quick 30,000 feet overview, Energy Trust as a whole is funded by Oregon ratepayers to help spur energy efficiency and renewable energy development. And our solar program exists to help address the primary barriers to successfully go solar in Oregon. Some of the things we provide are cash incentives that decrease the upfront cost, above code installation requirements that focus on system performance and longevity, a network of qualified solar trade ally contractors, just like Sunlight Solar, industry support, consumer outreach, and education. I'm really proud of all that work we do, but the reality is that the cash incentives are probably some of the most impactful services we provide for our customers and the industry as a whole. However, historically, our program and the Oregon solar market as a whole has not been able to benefit all Oregonians or all of the ratepayers who support Energy Trust. What I mean by that is the early solar adopters have tended to be higher income earners, tended to live in more urban areas, and were less racially diverse than the true demographics of our state. Now, this isn't entirely surprising when looking at how technology adoption curves typically go, or when looking at how much solar costs have really fallen in the last 10 to 15 years, but it's been important for us to acknowledge the issue and work to address it. So that's why we created our Solar Within Reach incentive offer last year as part of our organization's overall diversity, equity, and inclusion strategy. Solar Within Reach was modeled off of our Savings Within Reach incentives from the energy efficiency side, with the focus of both being on moderate income homeowners, which we define as 80 to 120% of the state's median income, varying based on household size. The upper income limit is a cap, but lower income customers are still eligible to apply for Solar Within Reach incentives as well. Additionally, you must own your own home, be a customer of Pacific Power or PGE, and have a good roof with sunny exposure. Now, while our standard incentives typically cover 10 to 15% of the cost of a system, eligible Solar Within Reach customers can receive up to $9,000, or what's typically almost about half of the upfront cost of the system. Now, aside from the higher incentives that offset a greater portion of that upfront cost, we also use a special pool of the highest performing trade allies to offer these incentives to eligible customers. And when Sunlight Solar came to us earlier this year and said they were working with Habitat on a number of projects, it was pretty clear that Solar Within Reach would be a great fit since Habitat's income requirements already go beyond ours. Now, our goals of expanding solar access and their goals of providing affordable housing to working low-income families were in total alignment. It was easy to pre-qualify them, and I'm excited to hear more about the projects today and hope to keep working with them more in the future. But before I hand off, I'd be remiss if I were to skip the call to action. If you or anyone you know is interested in going solar, the best first step you can take is get connected with a solar trade ally. Energy Trust can help connect you with 2 or 3 because we always encourage getting multiple bids, but they're really the best qualified resource to determine your path forward based on your goals, your site solar resource, or permitting considerations, and taking all available incentives into account, whether it's renewable or efficiency incentives from Energy Trust, a rebate from the state, or a tax credit from the federal government. So here's a link for that, energytrust.org/solarbid. Pretty easy to remember. That's all I have. Thank you so much, and I'm happy to take questions after the presentation. With that, I'll hand it over to Jacob.
All right, thanks, Matt. This is Jacob with Bend Redmond Habitat for Humanity. We are a local affordable housing provider to Central Oregon. We have been in operation since 1989, built over 150 homes, and provided some renovations to around another 150 homes. Since 2007, we've worked to build 20 homes with solar. And the Trade Ally program was a significant part of that. Joe and Sunlight Solar have been partners on a number of programs as well with us. We've done some homes, lead home in 2011, and we're already building to a standard that allowed us to jump into the Solar Within Reach program. We work with Earth Advantage here in Central Oregon, and most of our homes fall within 3 ACH 50 on the blower door. And our process on site is already incorporating many energy efficiency practices. Our relationship with Energy Trust of Oregon has allowed the financing side to work out positively for us. Maybe not positively, but less negatively. How about that? As an affordable home provider, we do serve families anywhere in the 50 to 100% AMI range, which means, generally speaking, we lose money on each home we build. While that is not a good business model to follow, we have been able to find ways of combining resources, such as Solar Within Reach program, to make this work. Part of that includes, let's see if I can go to the next slide here. A lot of community involvement. We rely on our community to keep our overhead costs down so that most of our funding can go directly into the home building. We partner with local high schools to pre-build our wall systems. We partner with local community college to create an education pipeline. And at the same time, it benefits the education aspect of home building and helps us provide affordable housing here in Bend and Redmond. We have worked to increase the number of homes we're building. So the project we have primarily been using Solar Within Reach on is referred to as Northwest Cottages, and we are looking to build a net zero community. How we do that is the stars have aligned with this program in a lot of aspects. So we use state funding, local funding to Bend and Redmond, as well as federal funding to help fill that gap of cost to build here in Central Oregon. And the ETO funding really allowed us to take that next step to make solar a reality on these homes. Our homes up to this point have been solar ready homes. One of the nice parts about Solar Within Reach is it doesn't cancel out any of the other incentives. So you can still access those other incentives for efficiency while making the solar a reality directly to the homeowners. So we've been able to absorb some of the cost per unit by developing our own site. The slide you see is Northwest Cottages. It's about an acre of land, 1.1 acres that we are putting 12 units on. 10 of those are aimed at affordability and 9 of those will include solar. So we're really excited about this project. We're in the permitting phase currently on all 10 builds and look forward to getting this project underway. Look forward to answering any specific questions following the presentations, but I'll let Joe with Sunlight Solar speak to the funding side of the solar a little bit more.
All right, thanks Matt, and thank you Jacob. Very good. So yeah, so a little bit of history on this and of Sunlight Solar's collaboration with Bend Habitat for Humanity. We had worked at, like as Jacob mentioned, on a number of projects in the past. About 8 to 10 years ago, we installed photovoltaics as well as solar hot water on a number of their homes. And then in 2015, we helped the Bend Habitat Restore project go off with about 60 kilowatts on their building where they do the Restore building. They sell used home supplies and building supplies and other things, and they have their offices there. And so we were able to get them a Blue Sky grant through Pacific Power, and the Oregon Department of Energy Renewable Energy Development grant, as well as the Energy Trust of Oregon installation to basically make that that project be a free solar project, which was great. And so when Jacob reached out, we were very excited about this project and working with him here in our hometown of Bend. So we looked at a number of different options. One was a PPA, or a power purchase agreement, which we understood some other Bend habitat or other Habitat for Humanities around the state were looking at. But with the timing, as Jacob mentioned, was great with the new Energy Trust of Oregon Solar Within Reach program, as well as the Oregon Department of Energy came out with their low to moderate income program with incentives that really were aimed at low to moderate income folks and organizations like Bend Habitat for Humanity. So the timing was really good there, and this is kind of the direction a lot of incentives have been going, and I think it's great. So we were really excited about this project and working with them, and decided based on these incentives that were now available, like Matt said, up to $9,000 with the Solar Within Reach, which we were able to get almost max out on most of these homes. And as well as the Energy Trust of Oregon also has a net zero rebate, which is new, of $750. And then the ODOE LMI service provider, which was 75 cents per watt, up to $5,000 or 50% of the net system cost after Energy Trust of Oregon incentive. So that equated to about $4,000 per home. There's also a federal tax credit, which is next year, is the last year it's scheduled to be available unless things change, but that is 22% of the out-of-pocket cost is available should the homeowner, the end user, the eventual homeowner have that tax liability. I mean, that comes to about almost another $1,000 off the cost of the system. So with all those lined up, I mean, we're looking at here somewhere around a 2 to 3 year simple payback, which is amazing for solar. And so basically, and then the way it'll work is these residents will have basically no electricity bills, and since there's no natural gas at the site, basically, you know, their only utilities will basically be, you know, water and sewer from the city. So it really helps make an affordable home stay affordable, and that's, I think, was really our goal here. And so the next thing we had to look at was the system design. Is this doable? I mean, we didn't know. Everything was in the design phases. How much energy would these homes need? How big would they be? The roofs. So what we did is we worked very closely with Earth Advantage, which provides an energy analysis of each of the homes. And this was kind of a moving target because we were still in the design phase. We had a ballpark of where we needed to be, and then, so we ended up settling around somewhere between 7,000 and 8,500 kilowatt hours a year is what each home would use. And so I said, okay, that's a workable number. We think we can get there. Next thing was to work with the architect, Vicky. And so we really liked the way they were, and they really wanted to make this so every home didn't look the same. They really wanted to mix it up, give them different depth and everything, and make it an interesting neighborhood. But on the solar side, that makes it kind of tricky because, you know, we've got what it ended up being with a number of different roofs, and these houses aren't huge houses. They're nice, you know, tight houses. You've got 12 of them in a 1.1 acres. So these lots of small different roofs. So that was a challenge, but it was a fun one, and we were able to make it work. And we basically, you know, and then I also had to go out there and do a shading analysis and take a look at the site and, you know, use the Solmetric Sun Eye tool to see really how everything's lined up with it. Luckily, there wasn't a lot of shading. And then we were able to make it work, get where we needed to be as far as solar access. So 5 of the houses require a 6.4 kilowatt system based on their energy use and the design of the roofs and the solar arrays. And 4 houses, a 5.8 kilowatt system. So each home has about 18 to 20 solar panels on it. And we were able to get to net zero. And so, you know, then after that, it was like, okay, what does this cost to do? What can we do? And then, you know, through these incentives and the fact that, hey, you know, this is something we really want to be a part of, we're able to make it work. So this is it's really an attractive addition to these already really a really neat neighborhood. So we're really happy to be a part of it. And then I look forward to seeing them up there. And, you know, in a project like this, a key is collaboration with everybody from the Oregon Department of Energy, Energy Trust of Oregon, Habitat for Humanity, Earth Advantage, and, you know, the architects and everything to make sure to really put everything together to make sure it works. And everybody was great. So hopefully we'll do many more of these in the future. And yeah, I look forward to questions too. I think that's going to come here. And I hope you're all enjoying the conference. And I really appreciate you taking a look at this presentation. And I'd like to thank Energy Trust and Jacob with Habitat for Humanity and everybody over there. This is going to be really good stuff. So at any rate, I will end it now unless anybody else has anything to add, and we'll go to questions, I suppose.
Thanks, Joe.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Bye.